Hey everybody, welcome to PBM's Video Entertainment, and welcome back to another episode of Thomas & Friends Import Reviews. In this video, we're going to be talking about My First Thomas with Toby and Edward. So, without further ado, let's jump into the history of My First Thomas with Toby and Edward. So, My First Thomas with Toby and Edward was originally released back in March 18th of 2009 by Sony Creative Products Incorporated. And then over in Australia, they finally got a DVD copy back in August 5th of 2010. And now we got the history part done. Let's jump into my copy of My First Thomas with Toby and Edward. Alright, we will now jump into my copy of My First Thomas with Toby and Edward. And, of course, here we have the Japanese copy of My First Thomas with Toby and Edward. So, taking a look at the front post art, it's basically similar to My First Thomas with Henry and Gordon, where you have, of course, Edward, where you have, like, the two characters at the bottom, and, of course, some scenes from the episodes and stuff like that. Anyways, taking a look at the front post art, looks pretty nice. Sony Creative Products Incorporated, and the text is in Japanese. And here we have the Thomas Friends logo. And here we have Toby. This is a scene from Toby Feels Left Out, which is not on this release. And here we have There's Mavis. This is a scene from Toby's Tightrope, which makes sense because it is on this release. And here we have Edward at the bottom. This is a scene from Edward's Brass Band, which is not on this release. And here we have Thomas, James, and we could see a bit of Henry. This is a scene from Edward the Really Useful Engine, or Edward the Very Useful Engine, which is on this release. And here we have Edward and Toby right here. And DVD video logo. Spine, Thomas Friends logo, DVD logo, the text is all in Japanese, and here we have Toby and Edward at the bottom. Then the back side, here we have the episodes listed on the back, New Style Hit logo, and the DVD, the Japanese DVD copy, it is Region 2, and of course, just like with Henry and Gordon, you can watch this in English dub or in Japanese dub. If you do the English dub, it plays the UK dub, just like with basically all of the Thomas Japanese DVDs, where you can choose between English or Japanese. And yep, I love how there's like a over here we have Toby, Edward, and then some sheep and windmill. Pretty nice. And here's disc, squisher version of the front post art. And here's what the inside artwork looks like. Looks all pretty awesome. I love how the Japanese DVDs like have really nice inside artwork. It's really awesome. And now before I move on, some of you may ask me like, hey, are you going to get the Australian DVD copy? Well, I was originally going to, but now that I figured out like this has like English dub, the answer to that is no, because well, for the Australian DVD copy, it has like the exact same episodes and stuff like that. Like for example, like here we have My First Thomas with Henry and Gordon from Japan, and of course here's the Australian copy. So like basically if you already got the Japanese DVD copy from 2009, like basically it's exactly the same thing, like regardless, but the only difference is like, besides like different artwork styles on the cases and different menu tours and stuff like that, like, well, the big difference is this one has 2 language options, this one only has 1 language option. Like basically this one has English and Japanese, and this one just has English. Yeah. So yeah, so basically, and of course, just a reminder, all the Thomas Japanese DVDs are Region 2, and all the Thomas Australian DVDs are Region 4. So basically, like if you have a Region 4 DVD player, you might as well get this one. Or of course, if you have like a region-free disc player or whatever, just like I do, then I would suggest get the Japanese copies because, like I said, this one, like, for all the My First Thomas DVDs except the Best Collection, has English dub option. Yeah. So, yeah. So best to get these ones. And now we got that out of the way, we will now jump into the menu tour for My First Thomas with Toby and Edward. Alright, we have now jumped into the menu tour for My First Thomas with Toby and Edward. And as you can see, same menu style just like with Henry and Gordon. So here we have play feature, and then it's going to ask if you want to watch all the episodes in Japanese dub or in English dub. Japanese narrator is Leo Morimoto, and English narrator, the English narrators are Ringo Starr and Michael Angelis. And of course, subtitles, you could do no subtitles, Japanese subtitles, or English subtitles. And now let's jump to the episodes, shall we? Excuse me. So here we have Edward and Gordon, Toby and the Stout Gentleman, Thomas in Trouble, Saved from Scrap, Edward's Exploit, Toby's Tightrope, Toby Had a Little Lamb, and Edward the Really Useful Engine, or Edward the Very Useful Engine. And that's it for the menu tour for My First Thomas with Toby and Edward. Now let's jump into my review and thoughts on My First Thomas with Toby and Edward. So overall, do I recommend My First Thomas with Toby and Edward? Basically same answer, just like with every other My First Thomas DVD and stuff like that. Basically, if Toby and or Edward are your favorite engines, feel free to pick this one up. Or of course, if they're not your favorite engines, then you don't have to get this one. Anyways, well, that about wraps up this video. See y'all next time. Bye.